I call you guys kings and queens because if you're on this channel, then we put the class in class-based shooter. And me, I consider myself the king, your boy Android Centaur 5, and we are back with another deep dive character guide on this great game we call RedFall. Today we're looking at Jacob, the dead eye with the undead eye, and I'm not going to go into a whole lot of spewing, we just going to jump straight into it. Let's check it out. So first off, I'm really biased against this character, so I'm gonna try to keep my opinions to a minimum and just give y'all the hardcore facts. Long story short, this particular character is the stealthy long-range assassin that is definitely great at sneaking into an area with unsuspecting enemies, taking them out as quietly and as quickly as possible, and sneaking out without setting off any alarms. Pretty much, he's Solid Snake. Man, that's the second time I've done that. Yeah, it's just copywriting. It's just they are loving me. like I definitely shouldn't have said that. But it'd be real cool if they actually put like a Solid Snake type of skin in here for Jacob, and and it would cause him to, when he dies, it'd be like Jacob, Jacob, Jacob. That might be a little bit too much, because they don't play no games when it comes to Snake. But if he can make it in the Smash Brothers, why not? Why not? Then you just gotta pay some licenses. But anyway, we're gonna jump straight into it, and pretty much the same as with Layla. These first three, at this point, if you're watching this video, then you already know that you got these first three abilities already. The first one is his Raven, which he throws out and uses for a lot of scouting. It allows you to see approaching enemies and threats through walls. Yeah, it's pretty much scouting, a UAV, if you say. The second ability is the Cloak, which I think is one of the more necessary abilities that he has, because this guy is a true definition of a glass cannon. He can't take a lick for anything. I mean, his worst enemy is not even any of the vampires or the humans. It's fire. Like, if he gets any type of fire near him or in the vicinity of him, he's immediately downed. And you need this to be able to get around that type of stuff. And then lastly, his Heartstopper, which is this ghost 40 or 50 cal that he pulls out of thin air. I think it's kind of funny that the weapon that goes with him is suppressed, but his ultimate isn't. It's not suppressed at all. You shoot, they all run to you. And the last thing you want with him is to be pulling aggro. He is a true glass cannon. I don't know how many times I'm gonna say that in this video, but yeah, he is a glass cannon. Anyway, we're jumping straight into it, and as always, I think the ability that's right here, it doesn't matter what character you're using, is honestly the most important ability that the character has. This character is always special to whatever character you're using, and so it changes from character to character, but these are usually the most important abilities with that character that you're using. His is entitled Deep Pockets, where it just pretty much makes it so he can carry more lockpicks and rewire kits than everyone else on the team, which is super good, because it's nothing worse than when you get to that legendary spawn point that everybody knows about already at this point. Well, at least on the first map. I haven't really seen any videos of what's happening on the second map as of yet, but everyone knows those four. They know at least maybe 2 or 3 legendary spots, but there are actually more than that. Everyone doesn't talk about all of them. Maybe I'll do a video of all of the spawn spots for legendaries in total, not just that video of, I think DPG did, where he only showed 4 spots. It's more than 4. I think he just wanted to be first to put a video out, and he does do his due diligence, but he didn't get them all. It's more than 4 on the first map. But either way, this ability is really important, because getting to those places and you're like, oh crap, I don't have a lockpick or a rewire kit, and you gotta wait for one of your teammates to come over, or you gotta take that long trip back to a safe house, or the firehouse or wherever you're starting at, because it's different for each map. Off the rip, exactly, level 4. Get it. Get it. Immediately get it. You want it. You want it. I'm telling you, you'll thank me for this later in the long run. After that, Jacob is indeed a sniper, and you're going to go through that sniper ammo very quickly. So you might as well just max it out. Long story short, his best option is always a sniper. And once you get the legendary weapon that actually goes with him, called the Lonely Thing, which I will show that to you guys in this video, you're gonna really want this to be completely maxed out. Honestly, out of this whole section of the skill tree, that's the only thing I put up on Jacob. That's because all this other stuff really just doesn't help him. He doesn't need more shotgun and handgun ammo, because one, you don't really use a shotgun with Jacob because you don't want to be close range at all. And as far as a pistol, the best pistols that work with Jacob are the single shots, because they do the most damage, and a lot of times they have those bonus headshot perks on them. And with that, you're doing single shots, you're not really going through much ammo, so you don't need any bonus perks on that. And he's not using a stake launcher or a flare gun or a UV beam. He doesn't use any of those. He is a shooter to the core. There is none of these things really benefit him. Now, like I said, you can build however you want, but on this channel we're doing the most efficient things, and most efficient is to not have him have anything where he has to get close at all. You don't want him getting close to anything. As far as the recovery for health, I mean, that definitely could work out. I mean, because like I said, this guy's like a one-shot king. I don't really know how beneficial that really would be to you though, because I mean, this entails that like maybe you survived with critical health and you wanted to regen real fast, but he gets one shot, so he's not even making it to the point where he's at critical health. He's just completely depleted, like instantly. It's no, oh, I got one more hit before I go down. It's just instant down. And you know, I don't really think this will save you that much, so I left that off. As well as I'm never going to be picking up teammates. I'm only worried about me with Jacob. I am not picking up anyone. It is ridiculous. Like, if I gotta stand still to pick you up, that means my life is in jeopardy. And like I said, I probably have the lowest ammo on the lowest hit point count on the team. So I don't want to take any chances or stand still and give them any type of I can take you out type of situation at all. Anyway, after that, we go into dealing more damage against humans, headshots, because like I said, all he really is the way you deal the most damage with him, and he does deal the most damage out of all the other characters, at least with firing weapons and whatnot. You gotta boost that headshot damage up, and that sharpshooter is exactly what you need for that. So yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. And then from there, this requires level 5. So absolutely we're going into that, because this is a team-based game and we want our teammates to be dealing damage as well. Drill instructor, definitely make sure so everyone around you gets headshot damage. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're like, man, you just said we want Jacob to be away from everyone, like sitting in a corner. He is the perfect example of a camper, how they say on Call of Duty. Everyone hates a camper. Well, you actually want to be the camper with Jacob. You want to stay out of the fight as far away as possible and still snipe to be able to provide assistance to your team. Now, this kind of like counters that, but I mean, it says large area. I wish they gave a better indication of what they consider a large area, like count it in units, or give me a ruler at beside my character on the bottom. I don't know, something to let me know where the radius is that they're really considering. I'll have to go back and test that with one of the guys that I'm normally playing with, because I know that that icon pops up under your health bar when something is active. Is usually like a green indicated marker of some sort. Like if it's two hands shaking, that's the trust going up. If it's extra headshot damage, it's usually like a little person with like effects going around the head, so you know that it has extra headshot. And then I believe there's another one for resistance to hazards. And then there's another one that has I think it's extra melee damage. Would it be like a little green fist? So I'd end up playing with one of my fellow colleagues to see how far you can be away from me where that icon goes away from under your health bar. Anyway, we'll go ahead and put that on level 5. Absolutely. And from there we can start filling in our tree. Jacob is a weird setup because he actually needs all of these. Where the other 3 characters, you can like go a while without maxing one of them out, or you could just focus on one and you'll still be okay. But Jacob needs all of these things running in succession to, you know, be useful. And I mean, out of the 39 levels I went through with him, it didn't get much easier playing Jacob until all of these things were functioning at least at the second tier. So with that being said, the thing that I valued the most was definitely his Raven. His Raven does a lot of things. When you finally get it all the way up to the top, it has the ability to kill 6 enemies with one single bird casting call. And that's exactly what you need, because you want to be able to kill things at a distance and not even have to get close enough to stab them. I don't want to stab anything. I want to one-shot it, make it kneel down, and throw my bird at it. So I made this this particular tree max out before the other ones. And I know you're thinking, why would you max out the first tree over the alt? Because this alt, it is so unimpressive. I mean, he's pulling a 50 cal out of thin air. I would think I'm one-shotting everything with this thing, but that's just really not the case. The way that this alt works, or what it was intended to be used for, now I can, after playing him for such time, I can definitely say his alt is a crowd control for humans. And I know you're like, well, he's supposed to be single target killing boss. Yeah, he is with his weapon, but with his alt, it's not killing any type of tanky underboss or boss in one shot. You're gonna waste the whole alt on that one tanky boss and they still won't die. This is designed to get rid of crowds of humans quickly. So you walk up to, I don't know, like that mission one of us or all of us, something like that, where you have to go to the cultist hut. Walk straight in there, pop your alt, you can melt everything in seconds and just walk through. Try doing that on, I don't know, Bloody Tom or Hollow Man, doesn't have the same effect. So I know I said this guy is like the boss killer, which he is, because he does do the most damage. It's just not with this alt. So I maxed out this alt, but it wasn't to kill the bosses. It was to make sure that if I did get surrounded by humans, I would have an answer to that. I wouldn't be able to just get wiped out by them. So long story short, we're going straight into recharging the Raven, because we want to always be able to see hazards coming to us real fast. We're also going to make our cloak last longer, because we want to make sure that we are as invisible as long as possible. And then we didn't even go over to the alt yet. We wanted to make it so it comes back faster, so it lasts longer and it comes back faster. Absolutely. After that, we want to be able to definitely make the scan radius for our Raven higher, as well as increase the radius altogether. After that, we're getting this whole row done. Then we'll go into our alt, but only to make it to get up to where I can heal off of kills, because that's important. You definitely need him to generate some type of health at all. Level 7, that's exactly what you need to make sure that you can even unlock this skill. After that, we're going back over to our cloak because that's super important. We don't really care about the additional damage because, like I said, we're not using this cloak to deal damage. We're using it to get ourselves out of trouble. So what we're actually doing is taking the resistance while we're the damage resistance while we're cloaked. We're trying to take less damage while we're cloaked. And then while we're cloaked, we can pass through tripwires. That's a super important thing with his cloak. That's what starts to make him useful. Like I said, it takes up until maybe the second row before his abilities are actually like game changing useful. After that, we really want to max out our and get to unkindness, but we don't want to put all of our eggs in this one basket right here. Like I said, he has to be well spread out to be great. Great. So what we'll start to do is we really want to get to this second part where our cloak doesn't end when we attack something. That's exactly what we really want. So we're going to go ahead and make the damage for the cloak a little bit higher, but mostly it's just to get to hidden strike. Hidden strike is very necessary. In fact, these two are the only perks in your cloak tree that are just unquestionable. You cannot put points on Jacob without having these two perks activated. After that, like I said, we want to go to making this Raven up into our unkindness. So we're just gonna go ahead and drop our last couple points into this. Deadeye is good. I mean, it marks them when I'm aiming down sights, but this is what you really need, Killer Covis. That is when you can start dealing damage with your Raven, and that way when you down them from a distance, that long one shot from the 50 cal, you can just throw your Raven at them and finish them off without even getting close to them, and you can stay invisible from it because of Hidden Strike. After Killer, we are going to mark for death, which means that when I mark them, they do more damage. They go hand in hand with Deadeye, so I guess that's good. But here's when it gets juicy. You get this unkindness, and then now instead of it just only being able to kill one enemy, it chains up to 6 different enemies as long as they're somewhat in close distance to each other. And it's multiple birds, so one bird hits and then a group of maybe 2 or 3 other birds come and hit the other people that are surrounding if they die, which is really great because you can start one-shotting lower enemies with your with just your bird. After that, we'll go back over to our ultimate here and we'll start filling in this tree. Like I said, we want to max this one out. We're not really worried about maxing our cloak because our cloak is, once you max that out, then you get the resistance, it recharges faster. That's really not that necessary. I mean, all of these do generally that. This just makes it perform maybe a couple seconds faster. And I'm not really that interested in that. I really want this to be able to snap to different enemies as I get a kill and be able to shoot through a wall. That is what makes the ult usable, because then I can throw my Raven through the middle of a building sitting on maybe 70 yards away, light up everyone in the building, pop my ult, and just take out each person that's in the building way before I even go into it. And that's exactly what you want him doing, scouting and taking people out through a wall to the point where they don't get a chance to respond. Literally, this is the best setup that you can do for Jacob in a team situation. I know you guys are probably like, hey man, why didn't you get melee training? Like I said, you don't really want to get close with Jacob, but this character is on 39, and you can't get perfect ghost because I need 3 points, and I've already burned 39 of those points. So once I hit 40 with him, I'll go ahead and put on the melee damage, but really, I'm still probably not gonna melee. Like I'm really not. Like I don't want to get close to anything at all. I want to shoot from a distance and have it drop way before they even notice that I was there. Um, After that, as far as the loadout, I really don't usually like doing all gold, but this really feels like the only way you can play this character. Like I said, there's that lonely thing, that's the sniper that absolutely goes with Jacob. You can't play Jacob without this sniper. If you don't have it, it's one of the highest, I guess, legendary rates that that's on the game. It drops so frequently. I mean, like, very, very, very frequently. And it's like I said, it's the actual sniper that's directly for him. And this right here was just a great roll that I got on this sniper. I think the one that I had before that didn't have the 50% extra damage like how this one does, especially for headshots. And just all of that stuff is just gelling together. You absolutely want headshot damage on every one of his guns. And so the thing that makes this thing, I guess, super exclusive to Jacob, one is only he could get it, so you got to play him to be able to get it. But it's mostly the killing the humans will reduce the cooldown, active cooldown of my Raven. Like I said, you want your Raven up all the time. You want to be throwing it out and scanning and seeing all potential threats before they see you. Now this is the perfectly normal. It's kind of funny. Jacob was used to work for Bellwether, and this particular gun actually says Bellwether on it. So I guess it maybe is a standard issue for Bellwether operatives. And I just thought it was necessary to give this to him. Normally, I'd probably have a purple one like this one here, and that's just mostly so I can customize it. Like right now, I have it all red. It looks pretty cool, but I changed his thing to blue. So what I would most likely do is switch this over. Do they have a blue chrome? I'm not even sure, to be honest. Oh, they did, but I don't even have it unlocked yet. But anyway, I would switch this over to Blue Tide to match his book bag. I have his book bag on. But yeah, this just looks like a really cool setup. That'd be a really great gun for him to carry around, that M16 with that big old suppressor barrel on it. I wish it had a scope on it. That would be dope. I mean, I guess it got iron sights with a green dot. And then that stake, man, that stake looks like a raptor claw. Man, that's a clean looking weapon. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. That's a really clean looking weapon. And they won't even let me full oh, okay, there we go. That is a clean looking weapon. It looks amazing. Why does it say laser beam? Oh, I guess that's the name of the color. That's a clean looking weapon to give to Jacob. I wish they had, like, you could change the skin to a red skin or something like that. But anyway, the perfectly normal, I guess, is what you want to use, but I like being able to customize, so I always keep one of these purples with me. And then the best pistol you could probably put on him is actually not Death Spiral, but the Crook one. It's one called Shepherd's Crook. That's probably the best one because that one gives you the guaranteed headshot damage. But this one is not too bad either, because like I said, you don't really want to get close to anything, and this also adds to that range of being able to finish down the enemies without having to get close. That ambition kills the vampires without having to stake them. And it's a really good close second. Get rid of that extra flare because I got a flare right here. Now what I always do, I always keep a flare and a UV gun just in case, you know, I'm by myself or I'm in an area where my teammates can't get to me that fast, just so I don't have to wait for them to come. But I don't really ever use this stuff. It's just sitting in my inventory. And I was going to collect all of the pistols, like this one here. This does an extra 30% damage, but it's not headshot, so it's like okay, that's pretty all right, I guess. But for the most part, this is Jacob. This is the best God Revenant for Jacob, and for obvious reasons. Killing an unaware target grants you 15% extra damage for 10 seconds, and it stacks up to 3 times. I'm sniping. It just makes sense. There's really no other one that could fit for him that would be more logical. This just makes sense. Now, I will say that I can admit when I'm wrong, and since I've been playing the game more, I noticed when I did that Layla deep dive, I said I believe the butterfly was the best for Layla, but it's not. I thought that if I put this one on, which I actually do think is great for Layla, the Black Sun's clock. Every time I stab an enemy, all the enemies in close proximity catch on fire. I thought if I did that, it would cancel out the actual ability that's on her guns that she carries. But that's not the case. It just gives you everything up front. So absolutely, the best one for Layla is not the butterfly. It's actually the Black Sun, and you get that when you beat the game. Spoiler. But at this point, I feel like people already know that. Now, last but not least, I have the reward that you get from the sister's house, the Blackwood family portrait, which I think is the best golden vampire blood, because when you consume a healable, it gives you 20% of your ultimate back, and that's no limit on it. You could just pop 2 med kits and you'll get your alt back. But uh, I mean, that worked, and I did have that on him at one point. But I think this is actually the best one for him because, like I said, he's such a glass cannon. Any and everything helps to keep him alive. So agile, make it so if I pop a med of any sort, 70% of melee damage is reduced. And on this particular one, it just so happened to get a roll that when I pop it, it also takes another additional 15%. So you are pretty much just if a vampire comes up to you and hits you, they consider those hits a melee. So you pretty much make it so vampires are almost not really damaging you, really. I mean, because that 70, what is that? What is it, 70 and 15? Yeah, that's 70 and 15. It's 85% damage being taken away or mitigated from him not getting hit. And this dude, I'm 39 and I'm barely cracking 1,000. And you could say, oh, it's because of the blood revenant that you're choosing, but it doesn't even matter. Look, I could put this on that has 3K on it, and it's still like, I really feel like they probably have protections built into the character where, numbers behind the scenes that we're not seeing. And whatever it is, whatever resistance or chance to mitigate damage that the other characters have, Jacob has the lowest percent of that. It doesn't matter what's happening. He is just getting one shot. So stay away from everything at all times. Now, I did recently find on another character that there are golden blood revenants called blood prisms, which actually has the character's name in the description, giving the illusion that it's actually for that character. But since every character gets it, I don't really think that it's specific to the character. And every time a character does get it, they just change the name, and they basically what it does is it's a reduction for one of their abilities. So for Jacob, it would probably be like when you get hit, the cooldown on your cloak or your raven is reduced, something of that nature. Because I currently have it on one of my other characters, and her first ability is reduced by carrying that blood revenant. So once I get that, I guess I maybe put that on, but this is probably just the best. I'll just probably find another one of these and raise it up to 40, because and when I first saw this, I was like, yeah, that's not important. Why would I care about that? But now knowing that they consider melee, I mean, with the vampires attacking a melee, that makes it a lot more useful. And like I said, you want to do any and everything to make this guy stay on his feet. Other than that, it's your boy Android Sensei 5, and that was a complete deep dive on Jacob, the dead eye with the undead eye. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Next one we'll be doing is Remy. stay tuned and check it out. Peace.